Okay, so let's talk about rational numbers. We're going to talk a little bit about rational numbers and we'll start adding and subtracting them. So rational numbers is a number system that classifies numbers based on their types and characteristics. So we have this whole set with different types of numbers underneath this big umbrella that's rational numbers. Okay, so we have what we call whole numbers. You started learning those. That's one of the first things you started learning. It's a set of all positive counting numbers. And this one we start with 0. Okay, so you can throw some examples down there as long as it's positive. So 0, 4, I'm just picking them off my answer bank now. My favorite number is 22. You can put your favorite number in there as long as it's positive. So now, so that's like all the numbers when you first started learning to count, you started with. Then we went to, now we look at natural numbers. It's a set of positive numbers. Okay, positive integers specifically. So it would be, natural numbers don't include 0. They start with 1. So like 1, 2, 3, 4. So on and so forth, and then it keeps going. Integers, however, are a set of whole numbers and their opposites. And this usually looks what you see on a number line. I'll have one at the front of my classroom. So let's say we have negative 22, we have negative 5, we have 0, we have 5, and we have 22. So it's the negatives and the positives that go with that. And then we have rational numbers. So rational numbers are numbers that can be written as fractions, terminating decimals, and repeating decimals. Okay, so examples for these, and they can be positive or negative. So we could have negative 3.7. We could have, so these are not the things we were just talking about. They're not whole numbers, they're not integers. Usually, I mean, those are rationals, but we'll specifically look at things that, usually these are things that you don't want to add or subtract or multiply by hand. So let's say like 3/4, that's rational because it becomes 0.75. Like 3 1/6 becomes 3 that becomes 3.1666666 repeating, just like 3 1/3 is 3.33333 repeating. So it does repeat. There are a few numbers that don't fall in rationals, like our number pi, we'll talk about later in the year, things like that. Okay, so we're going to determine here if what these fractions are is decimal and then terminating or repeating. So in your calculator, this is where you're going to want a calculator. If you don't have one, pause and go grab one. If you're on a device, you can open a new tab and go to Google and then just type in calculator. It'll give you a calculator. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to type in if you have one that has fractions, you can use it. Okay, so you're going to do 5/6, and we want to convert that to a decimal. You could do 5 divided by 6, 0.8, and then it's 333 repeating. That's how we write that. Then we decide, is it terminating or repeating? We know that because this one repeats, it's 0.83333, so this is repeating. Okay, then we go 2 divided by 11, hit enter, get ourselves a decimal, 0. And this is 1/8, but it's 1/8, 1/8, 1/8, 1/8. So again, this one is repeating. And then we do 17 divided by 20, we hit enter, and we get 0.85. Well, this one doesn't repeat, which means it's terminating. It terminates. It stops. It has a quick end. Just like 3/4 is 0.75, that would be terminating. Okay, so in here we're going to list the different types of numbers. So when we talk about these, we talk about rational, integer, and whole numbers. So they're all rationals. But then if we slim it down and get a little bit and a specific amount within rationals, that's an umbrella. Underneath the umbrella, we have this little group over here called integers. And then that's our positive and negative. So our negative 22 and our positive 22. Okay, rationals are all the numbers, which excludes irrational, which we'll come back to. So rationals could be like 3/4. It does include negative 22 and positive 22. And then so integers within that is called what we call whole numbers. And our whole numbers start at 0, but then they include all of the positive numbers of the integers. So rationals include integers, which include whole numbers. So all of these are rational. So it says, is it possible for a number to be both a whole number and an integer? Hopefully you said yes, and you're supposed to give yourself an example. Giving you time to think. What number could be a whole number and an integer? Okay, so I'm going to go 22 is a whole number and an integer, right? If you pick a, even 0 would work, anything 0 and above, because those are both whole numbers and integers. Now 3/4 is only rational. It does not, that is not an integer or a whole number.